The most interesting question for my viewers: why not now?
Why not now?
Why not now?
100%.
Is that the answer? Because your experience, your confidence that you can do something differently for the industry.
Yes, Ravi, this has happened after almost 30 years of my industry experience, right? In the brand strategy and marketing domain.
Okay.
And what I'm starting up with, why not now, or we popularly call it as WNN in the startup
WNN.
ecosystem.
Okay.
How did why not now happen? Let me give you a quick one on that as well. After so many years in the industry, I was also inkling with a passion of, I have to be in the startup ecosystem.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And every day when I was plunging into this particular ring, a question every day that used to cling in my mind was, why not now?
Why not now?
And that's exactly, Ravi, probably a lot of people.
I think that's a question you should ask my viewers. Why not now?
Why not now?
Why not
Actually,
now?
it happened with me. And when I was asking myself, my inner self, why not now? I plunge after so many years of my settled experience. And that's how I kept the venture's name as Why Not Now, or WNN. Okay. Because this connects with each and every startup heart.
Absolutely. Why not now?
Why not now?
Okay.
So that's how Why Not Now happened. Now, Why Not Now primarily focuses its DNA on brand strategy and marketing strategy go to market for startups.
The brand, marketing, and go to market.
Go to market.
Interesting.
Now, what I realized in last couple of years while interacting and advising a lot of startups, and I've also incubated a lot of them with seed funds. While a startup beats bootstrapped and has some money in the kitty, or it's been funded through a seed or an anchor, or maybe they have raised series of funds, one thing is for sure, they have a very short-term brand sight. Their brand building is with the lens of a product or a concept or an idea. They're still building a product, Ravi.
That brings to me a very interesting question here.
Yeah.
Okay. As you very rightly pointed out, many of the startups in this country, they bootstrap.
Yeah.
Okay. For them to get a viable finances.
Yeah.
For them to enable their ideas into an execution roadmap.
Yeah.
Working around go-to-market strategy, setting up channels if it's B2B, setting up outlets if it's B2C. Yeah. Do you think they really don't realize marketing and branding is equally important than GTM?
100%. Ravi, what a point you've raised in addition to what you're discussing. See, Ravi, I'll give you a stat. Industry stats say, there are a lot of factors or issues which actually leads to a startup death, right? Now, out of many million startups ideas, only some survive, right? And these who are surviving are also merely surviving. Because I've told you, out of 1.7 lakh plus startups, only 350 plus are funded in India. Okay.
Rest are struggling.
Lesser, yeah. So now imagine, but by the way, funding in India is growing now because there's a lot of captive money with fund houses, investors. And when I'm saying 350 plus funded means well funded. There might be who have raised some or the other money from other sources as well. Now, what happens is there are Indian stats or other global stats say 46% of the factors for a startup decline, death, or a perish belongs to either they have a problem with product to market fitness or brand strategy devoid. Means they just have a small brand lookout, but they don't have a long-term brand plan with them.
I mean, they don't have a global footprint expansion ideas.
Plus, even domestic.
Domestic. India is a huge market.
Yeah, India is a huge market. So what they do is they have a short-term sight like, okay, I have to create a logo of my brand. I have to create a logo. But this is beyond it. Brand strategy is...
The brand is not logo.
Brand is not a logo, right? And then the third issue is the marketing and the go-to-market strategy, which again primarily comes out of a brand strategy itself. The second stats is almost 70% plus startups, they die a decline by the 6th or 7th year of their existence in the market.
Brilliant. For the attention of the viewers, why not now is an emotion.
Yeah.
Why not now is a strategy. Why not now is an opportunity. Why not now is a way forward.
Correct.
Am I doing enough branding for you?
Thank you very much for that. So having said that, Ravi, absolutely bang on. So what I saw that beyond the stats, these startup guys are either inherently or in the heart are product people who've created a product or a proto, right? Then there is somebody who's a concept guy or a service guy, right? Not necessarily that founder or the startup owner
Is an
is a
execution
brand
specialist.
or an execution specialist.
Absolutely.
So what they try to do is they are trying both building business and managing business. But sorry, that's not the game. You either have to build business or manage business. And that's where the entire mistake happens.
My team and myself, we have done a bit of a research on the startup ecosystem.
Yeah.
Okay. Our findings are three. While you are bootstrapping, you are extremely cautious with your ideas.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
It's only at the stage of execution you find out what is going to cost to convert your idea into viable business proposition.
Yeah.
Having said that, most of the startups are the entrepreneurs in this country. Work with an idea, but they do not attempt to solve a problem.
100%.
Is that a right observation?
Absolutely right observation. I'll tell you why. So again, I'm going by stats. Ravi, there are three kind of startups in India, and they have been divided into three quadrants.
3 quadrants.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Now, the first one is the startups who are in the space which is solving core problems of India or the nation, okay, or a particular industry sector. Then comes, which is what we call as transformational.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
transformational is wherein you've gone beyond the core, but now you're trying to build something which will be very beneficial for the nation, citizens, and globally the economy. The third comes called radical. Radical is which nobody has thought today, but you're going beyond the time to create something, right? For example, if today an agri-tech comes out with a robot, right, which can actually prune the fruits or the orchards for yourself, that is radical. Means nobody has thought about it today.
Nobody would have even imagined that. Absolutely.
So this guy is into a radical space. Now, the problem lies that the startup owner or the founder does not have even earmarked his space in the three where he belongs to. Either he's in core, transformational, or radical. So if he does not even know that or have not realized his own space, where would he position his strategy?
Absolutely.
Right? So that
Absolutely.
becomes so what you said is what I've translated into 3 buckets. Okay.
Correct.
This is 1. 2, when we talk about a startup or an entrepreneurial journey, there are again 4 buckets where a startup needs to, it's a mandate that he needs to think on those lines. The first is the startup home. It starts with the home. What's your purpose of existence? What is the problem that you're trying to address?
Okay.
So then, if you know your purpose, vision, and mission. So purpose is large. Then comes the vision, which is like your earmarked, milestone that you want to reach. And then mission. How would you reach that vision?
Correct.
So not every startup has even created this own narrative for themselves. This is called a brand narrative or a conversation that startups should provoke in the market with their own stakeholders. So the first brand journey for any startup is create a narrative of your existence, which becomes the first part of your brand story.
Absolutely.
Then comes, if you have created your brand story or a narrative or a conversation map, then you move on to something called the stakeholders conversations.
Absolutely.
You've got an investor, you've got a shareholder, you've got a stakeholder, you've got an influencer, you've got analyst in the market, you've got a media, you've got a bureaucrat, you've got an India policy making system. Then you've got your customers at the larger foray. So if you don't have a brand narrative that you create for your purpose, you'll not be able to have conversations aligned to it.
You can't take it forward.
Then comes the third, which is called the positive or the social value. Now, UN has come out with 17 sustainable goal definitions. Because today, ESG has become big.
Absolutely.
Sustainability is a larger story.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, if today you don't have a social value which you are creating for yourself, for example, are you elevating a community? Are you contributing to the economic journey of your country? Or are you creating and enriching lives of your lot of stakeholders around? That calls a social value.
Absolutely.
Your capital value of what you're generating commercially comes after that. First is your purpose, vision, mission, value, translation of your brand narrative to conversations with stakeholders. Moving on to the media vehicles, now comes how you want to carry your message. For example, it's very important. You see, you have small, limited money or a corpus with you.
Correct.
Now, industry-wise, we say at least 2 to 3% of your revenue should be spent on advertising, marketing, and branding.
Correct.
But not every startup can do that because they have to be cash conservative in nature, because then only they'll be able to put buckets of survival money. Okay. So if they have limited money, they will have to then choose wisely. Is the home bucket that you have taken care of, how much money needs to go in there? Not every startup can spend on ATL or the large mainframe media like TV and newspaper, which is very expensive. So for them, imagine your social media, your PR, your integrated corporate reporting becomes the most viable and potent vehicles
For branding.
for branding.
Correct.
Right? So this is how every startup needs to think in their brand journey.
Differently.
Seldomly that happens. So this is where Why Not Now thought. So the vision of Why Not Now is to handhold and help the startups in this particular journey and help the startup space to create a brand narrative, do a brand journey mapping to their products, service, concepts, bring them to a technology or the industry readiness level, which is called that you need to be at least between a number of 4 to 6 out of 10 in the readiness level of the industry, where any fund house will start looking at you. But that never happens if you're not heard, you're not telling your story right, your brand is not visible. So if you want to be starting a successful journey right from the start, the first thing does not start with A, it starts with B. And that stands for brand strategy.